Time is just gone 9:35 a.m. and listeners and viewers can actually view this interview on Salam Media's Facebook page and also on the Salam Media YouTube channel. We are talking about a story that broke out in India with regards to a Muslim woman, an Indian Muslim woman who was auctioned off on an app, and we join on the line by Indian-based journalist Ghazala Ahmed. Ghazala, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Welcome and jazakallah khairan so much for joining us. Now, obviously, the story that has broken out and it's of major concern with regard to a woman, a Muslim woman who was auctioned off on an app. What do we know? Some background to what has actually happened, and if we can confirm that this has actually happened.
Before I speak further about the issue, I just want to make one thing clear, that it was not only about a woman whose picture was auctioned online. On the morning of 4th July, Indian Muslim women woke up to realize that pictures of around 80 Muslim women were being stolen from their social media accounts and were put on sale to auction them online. This is what happened on 4th of July.
Yes. Now, obviously, this is of major concern because, again, this presents a danger when people obviously are online, when they post their pictures online, and when people obviously take advantage of the situation. Now, this is a huge problem. And considering we know what is happening in India, we know what's happening with the Muslim minorities in India, people obviously going to be taking advantage and abuse the system. But this is of serious concern for Muslims in general.
Yeah, we need to understand this very concept that this kind of incident or this particular incident is not an isolated one. This is not happening for the first time in India, that sexualizes pictures or bodies of Indian Muslim women. This particular website emerged only 20 days ago when we got to know about this. But the kind of harassment, the kind of intimidation Indian Muslims and particularly women are facing is not something new. But it was ever existing, and it has flourished so far. It has come so far just because of the impunity and the support that people, these right-wing goons, this right-wing ecosystem is enjoying from the establishment or the or the people who are involved in this. Is because of the support they are gaining from the establishment and the government and the powerful people.
Yes. Now, Muslim women obviously are feeling threatened as a result of this. And as you mentioned, this has been an ongoing problem. We've seen in the past, we've seen what the Indian army has been doing in Kashmir, in particular with regard to Muslim women. We've seen it right across India. We've seen what had happened at the time of the Gujarat riots as well. And all of this, at the end of the day, is to trample on the dignity of the Muslim woman. And this obviously is another area of concern, particularly for Muslim women, where they don't feel safe in any way whatsoever, Ghazala.
Yeah, exactly. People are trying to moral policing us on this as well, that why we post our pictures on internet, why don't we cover ourselves and everything. But what about the girls and the women who cover themselves properly or who practice niqab as well? Their pictures are also being sold. Their pictures are also being misused. And the other important thing which I want to highlight is that after speaking about all this issue, and after highlighting about this particular issue, no action has been taken against the culprits. There is a person named Ram Gopal Bhakt, and who is constantly sharing videos and speaking this on record that Muslim women should be abducted, Muslim women should be raped. He's saying all these things on record, and he's roaming freely on the streets of India.
Yes, in fact, this was the point I was going to raise as far as the reaction or the response of the authorities. And it does appear as if Muslim women continue remaining vulnerable because there is no will, there is no political will on the part of the authorities to do something and to hold those that are responsible and those who are guilty accountable.
No, no, obviously they are not being, held accountable. Most of the women who fall victim of this issue try to go legal. They have filed complaints against these people, but there has been no as such action has been taken. Although Ram Gopal Bhatt has been arrested recently, but we all know that he will be released very soon because there isn't any kind of outrage from the majority because this has happened only with the Muslim women.
Yes, Ghazala, I think we are obviously having a slight problem with regard to signal, and I just lost it last bit that you were saying. What were you saying towards the end?
I was saying that this person called Ram Gopal Bhatt has been arrested after a lot of outrage, and this has not stopped here only. Even after we outrage against it, but the kind of intimidation and the kind of harassment still continues. Girls who were the victim of this incident are still getting threats, and their pictures are being still misused on different other platforms. However, this particular website was taken down after the
Yes,
outrage.
Ghazala. Well, Ghazala, I know we are breaking up from time to time, and we need to obviously apologize. We know that there are signal issues that are going now. Just going forward and looking at Muslim women, obviously they are concerned. Are they planning any action, or particularly to try and make sure that this situation doesn't happen to them? Are they looking at social media differently? Are they looking at themselves differently in terms of what they're posting on social media?
Obviously, we are trying to find an alternative to come out of this. Most of us have filed a legal complaint against this particular incident, but we don't find it going in a right direction because after the outrage, some of us are still getting threats, some of us are still getting intimidated by the people on in their DMs that we will misuse your pictures again if you are going to speak about this, and this is continuing.
Yes, Ghazala, Jazakallah khairan so much for that and for that update and for your time with us this morning. Allah make it easy, inshallah. And always, we appreciate you taking time out and talking to us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam.
Ghazala Ahmed joining us this morning out of India, and obviously signal issues. So there, here and there, we have lost a bit of the conversation. But I think this is of serious concern as far as Muslim women in India are concerned, completely exposed at the mercy of these people who are exploiting the situation, who are exploiting their social media accounts, who are exploiting their photographs and using that to auction. And as you mentioned, that this is just one incident, but there have been many in the past where Muslim women and their dignity has been basically trampled upon by the hatred of some of the right-wing element out in India, but again, completely exposed without any protection whatsoever. And as far as the authorities are concerned, doing absolutely nothing. So this obviously tells us that there are many other undercurrents that are playing out in India, particularly as far as Indian women are concerned, and trampling on their honor, on their dignity. We see it in Kashmir, we see it right across India, where Muslim women have become a target of this agenda, this right-wing racist agenda that is actually playing out in India. This brings us straight on to 9:45 a.m. And when we come back, we are obviously taking a look at talking to a brother who has passed on, but who has been basically inspired as a teacher, as a mentor. And this is a very, very heartwarming story in terms of an impact that someone can make on the life of another person. The time is just gone 9:45. We're going to go for an air break. We'll be back.